News this afternoon. Speaking of Donald Trump, he now has his own home here in Detroit. Well, sort of. A controversial artist has taken over two houses in Detroit's Brightmoor neighborhood and lit up the names Trump and Clinton on them. Local 4's Priya Mann tells us why.
There's an open invitation for Clinton and Trump to spend the night here in Detroit. But do you think they have any interest in these White Houses?
And I've got Trump on one side and Clinton on the other. And I don't want either one of them.
Two abandoned homes in Brightmoor have turned into an art project titled The Invitation.
He goes, I want to get both of these houses and I want to do an art project. And I said, fine. What that meant, I did not know.
60-year-old John O'Malley lives between the vacant homes. After years of putting up with thefts and vandalism, he reached out to Ryan Mendoza. The artist had an idea. If O'Malley would buy the homes, he would turn them into pieces of art.
So when he came in, he had a political theme. And it was going to be Clinton and Trump. And I sort of freaked out about that because I'm not a political person. So I was like, oh my God.
The homes were painted white and bullet-sized holes spelled out the names of Clinton and Trump. LED lights inside light up their names at night.
And I'm thinking, Jesus, that sounds wild.
Mendoza is no stranger to controversy. Earlier this year, he was accused of exploiting the city after stripping a vacant home for an art project in Europe. What remained of the structure was left standing, but Mendoza said he paid for the demolition. When he returned to the city to clear up the matter with officials, he met O'Malley.
I think art is very, very powerful. The more people that see it, the more people are going to be affected by it.
Like other areas in Detroit, the Brightmoor community has been plagued with blight and gun violence. This is a message to the candidates.
Neither Trump nor Clinton know about middle America. They don't know about the regular people, the regular taxpayers.
An American artist stripped it to put on display at an art fair in Europe.
Well, Ryan Mendoza is the artist, Devin, and he took down the side of this house, the front corner, the top of it up here. It's high-minded art, he believes. But
all of my work deals with things and people who have been forgotten on some level. I had to cut the two corners down.
Yeah.
And take all those wood slats down.
Oh, I see. We jumped out of bed at 6 o'clock today in the morning. Oh.
My grandparents, on my mother's side, they lived 5 hours south of Detroit. And when my grandmother died, she left my mother a house that really resembled the first house that I brought over from the States, from Detroit to Europe. And let's not pretend that Detroit is some casual event. This is because Detroit is one of the most vulnerable cities in the United States right now. And
Josh joins us live in the newsroom. Hi, Josh.
Hey, Ron and Amy, good evening. The niece of Rosa Parks and artist Ryan Mendoza tell us there's actually been some opposition over this particular project, taking a home Rosa Parks lived in during the 1950s in Detroit overseas. But they say America needs to truly appreciate her legacy.
You know what I mean?
Rhea McCauley, one of Rosa Parks' living nieces, bought this house on South Deacon Street in November of 2014 for $500 from the Detroit Land Bank Authority with the hopes of restoring the blighted property. McCauley says the Rosa Parks Foundation had a difficult time finding help for the restoration project.
I know that she's got streets named after her and medals and awards, but I'm talking about truly understanding the significance of Auntie Rosa. And I have talked to young people and they don't even know who my aunt is. And that's a shame. It's not their fault, but we as a country need to acknowledge. And if we can't, you know, I take her where she is acknowledged.
Guys, hello, everybody. Listen, the house of Rosa Parks was put on the demolition list. I am here because Rhea McCauley said, please help me. Help me to save this house. So I was in a position where I knew I wasn't the right person to do this. It should be somebody in the black community doing this, not a white guy who isn't even, I'm not even from Detroit.
Auntie Rosa's always loved the city. And I wonder sometimes if the city loved her. And yes, the house is going to be preserved forever. I don't have to beg anymore. I don't have to go to people and they shut the door in my face. I'm telling you, the house is going to be preserved. I don't care if we have to put Auntie Rosa on Mars. She'll be here.
Put 2 corners down.
Yeah.
And take all those wood slats down.
Oh, I see.
We jumped out of bed at 6 o'clock today in the morning.
I hate that the house went the way it did, but as long as we take care of it now, it's gonna be all right.
Things become really important when they become symbolic. So of course the floor that she walked on that would have been discarded, you have to ask yourself, is this something that's worthless, or is it something that's priceless? Miss Baldwin, she's 92, I believe, and the house at the time that she came over was in its state of abandon. So it was amazing to see her recollections of the space compete with the reality of what she was seeing. And she also described where Rosa Parks would sit, and where the television was, and where the telephone was. So it was also important, I think, for people to know that Rosa Parks did live there. This is not where the house is going to be rebuilt. I wanted to keep that a bit of a secret, and I wanted to, it's like putting clothes on a woman, you know, so you don't want to do that in public. You don't need a public viewing of the restoration of this house. What you need is quiet, and you need some meditative time to recompose and give dignity back to the structure. When you do something that you really believe in, it's easy. It's much more difficult to make just a little painting than it is to save this house. It's a collective force. I'm part of something. People want this to happen.